long has that timer been sitting on 0? Hello, Brainless. Welcome back. I got distracted by looking at video quality settings. So a number of months ago, OBS and Twitch and things, there was a new setting to like auto send multiple video streams. It was just a few seconds cool. Multiple like stream qualities, like streaming from my computer to Twitch. And so I guess that means there's no longer a 1440p option. But hopefully, overall video quality should be good, though. At 1080p. Well, anyway, good morning. What are we doing today? Still working on Glowing Telegram. We are, I think, in a pretty good place. I was working out some bugs yesterday with the YouTube upload process. And I think that I'm not, because I ran out of videos that were prepped to upload, but I think I found and addressed all the issues. So, like right now, the process is pretty straightforward. Let me start up the app here locally. The process. Oh, good, my filter's still in place. The process is pretty nailed down. Actually, maybe I can actually show this, right? So, let's see. How can we need to find streams that don't have episodes. So I think this is the next one. So this is the filter that I'm working on. Get a little tickle in the throat this morning. Makes me want to cough, and I don't like it. But just hope that goes away. All right. Hopefully not coming down with something. How it starts, right? All right. So I don't know that I've shown this workflow on stream. Also, this could be maybe a little bigger. There we go. The calendar could be a little smaller actually at this point. Basically, it's set up to show, hey, this is the current month, and here are, of the things that you're currently filtering, here are ones that show up on the calendar. And I thought that would be cool. I guess clicking the calendar doesn't do anything. Interesting. I think maybe I had something in the backlog to address that. But anyway, so here's the next stream up. So let's take a look at this. So yeah, it doesn't have episodes. There's the prefix for where the video files are. If we go to editor, excellent. Stream media is required. So I think that means we've not ingested the videos. This should be safe enough to do. Let's click it. So anyway, you would do this. You go to the editor once that process is done. How do you know that process is done? Well, we'll come back to that. You go to the editor, and then, well, I can't show that. I've shown that on stream before, so it's like a timeline, and you can press a button and will auto select segments of the stream VOD, where stuff was happening, and there's a button to create episodes there, and that gives us a set of episodes. And then I go in here, and I recently added the ability in the bulk creation to configure the default description and title format by series, which is great because a thing that I've had to do, also I made tabs here. A thing that I've had to do is like, oh, I need to go into each bulk created episode and paste in my little template so that ChatGPT has this, because it knows that it's supposed to take the existing description and then build a description on top of it based on what happened in the video. So I added a kind of a templating thing here to be able to leverage. And so when the bulk episodes are created, or when the episodes are bulk created, I think it won't exactly do this. I think it'll put the description. Well, it'll do whatever ChatGPT decides to do. So I probably just need to tweak the prompts a little bit to be like, hey, take the existing description, which has links, and leave it after the second paragraph or something. Anyway, and so then you can see information here. So here's like the underlying cut list information. It says how to build the episode render from all of my media. And then there's the YouTube video ID and the path to the rendered MP4 file. And I guess technically, well, I don't know if this one's published. We'll just leave that as is. And then from here, what I can do is I can just say upload to YouTube, which this button could have more contrast with the header, but that's just the theme that came with React Admin that I'm using. One of the ones we switched to last week. Yeah. So and that should work now. Like I said, I've already uploaded these three. I didn't want to upload the same video again because there are like API quotas for that. So, but so far so good. So, coming back to the thought of, well, how do I know when my stream ingestion process is completed? It's on the backlog, which I'll also blow up. It's easier to read. We got a bunch of stuff about figuring out background task status updates, right? So, hey, this background task started, here's the status, what's going on? Now, I feel like we did something in the code to support doing this at one point, after the rewrite, that is. Obviously, the past version, prior to our migration to AWS, had... I was going to cough for a second. Had a thing, but this rewrite... let's see, so in CDK. Is it task monitoring? Maybe it's task monitoring. Yeah, there it was. All right, so what do we got going on here? We have a task monitoring construct. We have a tasks table that we are receiving, and a stream ingestion step function. It's interesting. And let's get rid of that. What are we doing with this? All right, I think I was talking about this last stream of like, hey, this is a lot of detail about a specific thing to be including in this construct. Do we want to end up in a situation where everything we want to know something about, we have to hand to this construct, and this construct then maps it? I don't know. What's the alternative? Let's see. this rule target input. It's just a rule target input. It's an abstract class. That has some bind method. Interesting. Let's see. So where I think we are using this from AppStack. Right, here's our task monitoring construct. Now the tasks table is defined pretty early. It's weird. What are we doing in API construct that's using? Go away. Oops. How did I get this view? Interesting. How are we using tasks table in here? Okay, right. So we are making it so that the CRUD, our records API, can access the tasks table. That makes sense. Is that the only thing that's going on? Yeah. Okay. I thought maybe we had gone further into something else. Okay, so are we using tasks table in any case? There we go. Okay, yeah. So we have this is probably not the best name, but we have, I guess it is the config, right? Tasks table is the string. So we have in the CRUD API support for reading this DynamoDB table of tasks. And so in data store, we define that tasks table. Here we go. And it has, well, at a minimum, it has its TTL that represents the time to live, and it has an ID. Right? The idea being that we have this table, records get put in, they are interesting. How did Control 0 do that? I just want to make this a little bigger. Okay. Something happens. Something. The status of a task changes. It started. It stopped. It errored. Whatever. We maybe haven't well defined that yet. It creates a record or updates an existing record based on, I guess, an ID. And then after some amount of time, after a TTL, the record just deletes itself. As in DynamoDB deletes it. And so this lambda, this little Python lambda that's embedded in here, is what's creating or updating the record. I think the idea is the update item here will create it if it doesn't exist. So the ID is the event name. So there's only one thing feeding into this lambda right now, which is via this event target for EventBridge. And so the name is detail name. That's interesting. Let's take a look at what this event is. I'm just trying to, first I want to understand what past me did, and then we'll figure out how to like expand upon it and what's going to make sense. Because on the one hand, I would really like to not have to write a bunch of code. Two, I would really like to make it so that I don't necessarily, I guess there are three possibilities. One, this task monitor construct, or whatever it's called, task monitoring, has to be updated to be given access to like hook into everything we want to monitor. I don't think that may not work, because I think potentially like we might need to, like, within a step function there might be multiple things here that we want to like monitor. It's not the overall step function. Like, we won't be able to do, like, for the stream ingestion step function, which is the only thing this is monitoring right now. That stream ingestion step function, each execution of it is tied to a specific stream record. Like, I clicked the button on the stream earlier. If that ran a step function, I guess. Yeah. So let's take a look at this. Let's also let me go over to AWS. We can get to use the fancy secrets overlay. All right. It's my passkey and okay. So I want to look in DynamoDB and see if this process is working. Like, we built this task monitoring thing. Does it work? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Tasks table. It has 5 items in it. Okay. So this is interesting to me. So we have an ID, and this ID, I mean, we also Googled, right? So we're going to look to see what the event means, right? Because in our hook onto the event, we're capturing detail name. Means data is specific to that particular event. Sure. Wait. Okay, no. Okay, I was gonna say, is this the step function? It is specific to the step function. So the name is for definitions of the other metadata fields that are included in all events. Okay, so that's fine. So what is name? I think I know what name is, right? It's the execution name. It's the thing that we send when we start the step function. So or it's auto-generated if we don't send it. Right, so this guy here. Yeah, see, it even says in there, execution name. Right, so when we look in here, there it is. Now, what does that matter? Well, we are updating the row if the name is the same. Like the name of the step function for this kind of event is the key in which we use to say, okay, this is the thing that's happening. If something changes, we update the status. This is the record that we update the status on. So there's continuity, right? I may need to put more information into the table. So thinking about, excuse me, a little stuffed up suddenly. Continues. If I am in the UI and I want to look at my list of tasks and I want to like, what can I show in the UI right now, right? I could show this ID that means nothing from the UI's perspective, right? We're not showing step functions otherwise. This the interface is how we're showing this. We have a time, whatever that means, I guess that's what does that mean? What is that? Time. Of the time the event was generated, I think, versus when we updated the record. These should be different. Unless the first event we got was that, oh yeah. Probably the first event we got was that it was running. I don't think there's one before that. So that makes sense. So this will be running, succeeded, failed, aborted, timed out. Because we're just saving the status, presumably. Wait, what are we doing with running? Condition expression. Status is running or attribute not exist. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? That feels like, hey, you shouldn't update the record unless it's running or status doesn't exist. I don't know. I guess in the normal workflow, we will not provide a means to like restart the existing process. You just start a new thing. Anyway, I'm getting off track. What I was thinking about though is like in the UI, in this UI, we actually have a button for tasks. And it has stuff. Is this the same stuff? Did we keep this? Is this the same? Yeah, okay. So that part works, that's cool. But what do we do with this information? Right? What is 5175CE48 dash, whatever. We don't know. So we don't know what the relation is between this and what the thing we did was, for one. So how do we know that? Maybe we have to store something, but how? Right? So the only place the data in that record comes from is from this event about the status of the step function. Right, so I said 3 ways. And then we kind of drifted off from there. So 1, we somehow pull all the logic for instrumenting everything into this construct. I don't think that's really feasible, given we're gonna need. Let's talk about what we want to monitor. Task monitoring. Yeah, this is not gonna be YAML. Can you just have right now? So stream ingestion, step function, overall status, right? Which is what we're doing now. What else? YouTube upload. Status by, not by channel, by episode. So with the uploader step function, it grabs all of the things that need to be uploaded and it processes them one at a time. If one of those fails, we want to push, or one of them starts being processed, right? We want them to be, we want that status information. We want to know, hey, this video is being uploaded, or this video failed to be uploaded. We want to know for each video, not just, hey, is the uploader process running or not? We don't need to see that necessarily in the UI. something that is occurring to me is like statuses. What are the statuses? So right now we have just ones that mirror the step function status. Right, we're literally just taking the status from the event and we're storing that. So it's like running success, whatever they are. The different statuses. I bet we can see the list in here somewhere. Oh, I guess this is technically a list. Yeah, aborted, timed out, failed, succeeded, running. So we don't have a thing before that. Oh, here we go. Here are all the different step function statuses. Let's see. Do we just take these and use these as the statuses for the tasks overall? I think one. So 4 specifically, and we'll see if we can think of other tasks that we want to monitor, but specifically for the YouTube upload, and no, there are others. For the YouTube upload, do we want in the task tray? So do we want it to show up in the UI, which implies it's a record in that DynamoDB table? Do we want things that have not been started yet? Right? I think probably. It's going to be weird to click the button that says upload, and then you go to look at the list of pending tasks, and okay, maybe the first one is running, and then you just don't see the others, right? I mean, that's choice of like, okay, well, we haven't gotten to it yet, so there's no information. It just like disappears into the void. Just saying that, articulating that, makes me feel like that's the wrong choice. So we could oops, I didn't copy the list. We can have these, but I think we want to have like a pending status as well. Now, because not everything is based on the status of a step function, we won't necessarily use all of these statuses, but I think this covers us. So what's another thing that we want to monitor the task of? Well, what's another thing that we can kick off asynchronously in the UI? Rendering. Yeah, rendering a video by episode. Yeah, we don't trigger publish in here yet. Maybe not at all. So we can in the UI go to an episode or multiple episodes and click render. And that is a background process that we want to be able to monitor. So that's good. So we have stream ingestion, we have YouTube upload, we have rendering. And you can see for like the YouTube upload, we do have status information pushed into the individual episodes because I think that's good. I don't think that's sufficient though, because I want to be able to look at kind of what's all the stuff that's running behind the scenes without having to dive into finding the specific episodes. Is there anything else asynchronous that we do? Not really. I think everything else is either tied into that process, or there is some stuff that can happen when when I upload the videos into S3 directly, that gets kicked off, but that's not through the UI. So even if we showed something in the task list of things that are happening, it would not necessarily, like, the problem that I'm trying to drive towards solving is how do we show more relevant information in the task list that ties it back to the thing that is being tasked. What are we, whatever we're doing, what is it? One, and what is it doing it on? Two. So let's see here. Tasks. Data elements. I'm not gonna bother. We're storing like created at, updated at, those sorts of things. We don't need to note that here. We have status and we have type. And then we maybe have a record ID. Maybe. Okay, so going back to the three options, we eliminated one as being, I don't see how we can do it. The other option would be to provide something, maybe provide a helper function or something, maybe a method on this class or something where we pass around task monitoring, the construct, to all the places where we need to instrument it. I'm getting ahead of myself. So if we pass around the object, right? Like instead of implementing this by passing the step function to this construct, we pass this construct to the step function, and the step function, the stream ingestion construct does this code, right? But that then is not great. It means there's going to be duplication, right? And granted, we only have three things, so it's not going to be the end of the world, but there is a third way, and maybe forms of a third way. So a third way would be, instead of trying to have the task monitoring process listen for events that are specific to listen for the step function, and not everything gives events, right? So like if we're monitoring the YouTube upload process, currently there aren't events. What if we manufactured? What if we made our own events? And so in stream ingestion, because it's the one that already works, right? In stream ingestion, what we would do is that we would have a very similar event rule to listen for execution status change, but instead of running this status lambda from task monitoring, we would just emit a new event whose structure would have a consistent schema that is kind of the overall task monitoring status event. And so everything would emit events with that schema, and then task monitoring would just be listening for that kind of event and would run the lambda and store it in the table, right? And so that would be our interface. So what do I think about that? I guess the question is, how do we ensure, is there a way to make it so that when we're in stream ingestion and we are manufacturing an event, that we are following the schema, the task monitoring ones? And maybe, what could that look like? I don't know. What could that look like? Yeah, this is the string, right? There's a reason this is from object where it's any. What's the type of event here? It's a rules target input. I think we looked at that. That type, right? That's just the abstract class. Could we do something where think about what's happening here? Like here's a concrete example of us taking an event that is this event that we're capturing here, right? And we are mapping it to a different shape. And in this case is the shape that the Lambda function is expecting. So if we imagine there's like a layer below this, right? So this code moves to stream-ingestion.ts. Instead of the Lambda function being the target, we are creating a new event on an event bus, maybe just the default event bus, doesn't matter. And we are transforming, we're saying, hey, from this path, put this here. From this path, put this here. So that level of detail is something that would be different for everything where we are kind of doing this mapping. But the shape of the object would be the same. Well, I'm gonna cough again. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's a good way, like I don't see a good way to like type this to enforce the shape of the target event. So going back to this idea of if we had this task monitoring construct, maybe as a method. In that method, I don't know if I like that. Maybe. So the method will. Let's see. Is there a in event targets? Is there a thing for? Yeah, sure. Lib. Event bus. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Let's go look at the CDK docs. Do I have that in a tab? Let's see, so event target. AWS. Scroll way too far. Events targets. API gateway, API destination, AppSync, AWS API. Right, to just like invoke an arbitrary AWS API. So it says it uses a Lambda function. So I guess under the hood it provisions a Lambda to do that mapping. Is there a target? I mean, it's event bus in targets. So this is targeting an event bus. Yes. Okay. So we can't map the event. We just have to like send it through. That's not what I was hoping for. No dark mode for this one. For these docs. Target input object. Weird. I saw it when I walked, boy. App sync. Sure. Yeah, I'm confused. What is this example? Exampling. Oh. Yeah, I see. Saying how to fill in variables here with that. Sure. So is there not a good way to just proxy an event from an event bus back to the event bus while transforming it? Target receives events in JSON format. Could be a bunch of different things. Yeah, an event bus can receive events from your custom applications, or it can receive events from applications and services created by SaaS partners. Rule defines an EventBridge rule which monitors an event based on an event pattern and invokes event targets. Matchers. Yep. Well, I don't think I've ever done any of like this kind of OR-based matching. Oh no, I mean I have just with an array, I guess. I've not used this events that match before. Greater than interesting. Okay. The matching logic is more sophisticated than I realized, because all the matching I've ever done has been just like given an array and it could match anything that was in the array. So that's good to know. Scheduling, so you can just have a rule that is a scheduled rule that at a given time it invokes the target. Now archiving events and replay. Dead letter queue. Okay, let's look at the other section. I guess if nothing else, because we do have this AWS API, we could probably use that. Let's see, event targets, try, invoke a Lambda function, log an event into a log group, code build, code pipeline, step function, queue a batch job, put an event on an EventBridge bus. So this event bus construct just looked at it. It just takes one argument. Let's just look at the source. Constructor. Oh, yeah, props. Oh, yeah, we looked at props. But props is just the del letter Q and the role. Yes. Don't worry. After I look at it a couple times, it will set in. Use the various input options. They can be set and called to add target. Wait, yeah, hold on. Can I? This implements high-role target. That's the thing you pass into add target. Let's say wall. As a method, add target. Adds a target to the rule. It is add event pattern. Adds an event pattern filter to this rule. If the pattern was already specified, the values are merged. Yeah, sure. Okay, so if I really want to do the way I was thinking of doing it, I might have to use this. Action service. Do that, but you could. So the action would be put events. Service would be events, I guess, and then we would presumably be able to pass in other arguments that would be the shape of the events input. Do that as parameters. Right, and so under the hood, this provisions a Lambda function that will dispatch out and invoke the AWS API to do the thing that we ask for. I'm really surprised there's not. It's still running, also. Apparently, takes some time. What are we doing in this function? We are. We're doing ingest video. This is the process that would normally happen when the video is uploaded to S3 for my computer. But I changed the process and I made a little marker saying that, hey, anything that was ingested before this process was changed needs to be reprocessed. So it's going through. Apparently, it's on iteration 9. We do some in parallel, so it's almost done. Must do. They take some amount of time, 30, 15, 5 minutes for the last one because it was so short. I mean, we must be doing like 4 in parallel. Yeah, that makes sense. We're doing. Curious how this happened this way, but it's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Is there? Let's see. EventBridge. sure there's lots of products called EventBridge out in the world, but this should be specific enough. If I think of like, what am I trying to say? Map events, event mapping back to bus. Bus to bus routing with rules and okay, so here's yeah, go away. Don't want to sign in. EventBridge supports bus to bus event routing. What's the question? Yeah, for whatever reason, the input transformer of events via event rule is not possible if the event target is another event bus. Excuse me. Yep, yeah, you can do that. Are there any feasible or cheaper workarounds? Nope. Yeah. I guess the other thing that I could have done just to vet this idea of can I do this or not is to go into the console and try to manually configure this. And if it's not possible in the console, it's unlikely to be possible to do via the CDK. Yep. So options. I give up on the idea of having this abstraction of an event, and instead we provide the status lambda to all of the constructs. It's going back to that idea. And then they are responsible for doing this mapping to the correct set of arguments for the status lambda. Yeah, I think maybe so. So what that really means is like these lines of code aren't going to go away, or rather going to be moved to stream ingestion. Let's go down this path. So we're gonna say that there is a read-only status lambda. Let's see if we can make an I function. Let's see. While I'm giving like these labels to things, let's oh no, other way around. There we go. Okay. Let's say status lambda. Is there? Am I not already doing that?
What this means is if you take your time and plan things out and make sure that you are set up to perform that job as flawlessly as you can, you're going to have a much better result.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't need that then. And this goes away. And that means stream ingestion gets a little longer. We're in some kind of helper method. Yeah, go away. We're gonna do this. We're gonna need some imports here. I'm just grabbing all the things that are not even used, and we'll see how many of those we need over here.
The worst thing you can do is rush through something and then take 3 times as long as you need to because you have to troubleshoot all these weird issues.
Now, still some issues.
What's even worse than that is you end up with
so of course we don't need to
whether your workmanship is good.
Just be like this step function. Just take machine order. There we go. I think there's actually
really enjoy the process as much as you can.
And then status lambda.
As perfect as you can.
We are
Then you'll be
going
able to rely on this thing
take
for
as a
years to
prop.
come.
question. We read things from props, so I want to just unpack all the things in props so that they're available. For that matter, why wouldn't I just do that right here? Whoops. Right here. Yeah, I know it doesn't exist. That's fine. Open AI secret, video metadata table, streams table, video archive, all the things. All right, well, apparently it's been an hour, so we have to take a break here. When I return, resume working on this.